With the November chill comes the thudding realization that he is no longer fighting. That's been all too clear as the media tries to build up anyone, or perhaps group, who might replace his star-like quality. TAKAKEISHO's vowed to give 100%, Daieisho 120%, but even that, collectively, falls short of a man who could beat them both running at 80%. As NHK pundit Mainumi notes, it's sad that he retired without anyone getting good enough to challenge him. As it's KYUSHU, inflated hopes abound that local man SHODAI will somehow be inspired to claim his second title. Part of me indeed thinks that if I'm going to do it, it's got to be here, he said, noting that he's never taken the cup at Ozeki. I want to display front foot sumo coming off a solid initial charge. SHODAI's rightly identified Teruno Fuji as the man to beat, but by the time this month ends, they will both be 30, and cannot be relied upon to lead for the longer term. TAKAKEISHO is only 25, but since 2019 has been more injury-prone than any other top ranker. I prefer this season to summer, so the Fukuoka cold doesn't bother me, he insists. I've been practicing well with Takanosho, and it's now a case of outputting my power 100%. It would be some story if he made it 3 November Cups from 4, and Chief Judge Isegahama has said he is counting on both Ozeki to impress. For a new face at the top, Nikkan Sports is keen on Daieisho, hoping he revives the rhythm which blasted him to the January title. The first match will be crucial, he said, having lost 3 from 4 openers since that title. I want to be back in those elite Sanyaku ranks, and with a good winning score this time, I can do it. I don't want to waste the tremendous start I had to this year. But of course, he too has just turned 28, without ever seriously bidding for Ozeki. Time is scarce on his side either. MITAKEUMI was supposed to be Ozeki by now, but is constantly hampered by bad November scores. It's not a good tournament for me, he concedes. I try not to think about it, but it does bother me. Sudden temperature changes, both morning to afternoon and day to day, are hard to deal with, he suggests. But he insists he is aiming for those 10 wins and an assault on Ozeki, just weeks before he's 29. Despairing at the dearth of Japanese talent, the Yomiuri newspaper has featured the younger Mongols, new komusubi Kiribayama, 25, and throw specialist HOSHORYU, 22. It praises the former for his tenacity and ever-strengthening frame, and believes Coach Kakuryu's guidance should take him higher. The latter, meanwhile, is extolled not only for his versatility, but also his firm commitment to the sumo basics. For I can't build my game around spectacular moves, he said. It's just too risky. Seeing how he and Kiri cope with increased expectations will also be of interest. There is always hope, I suppose, that home support can extract a blinding performance from 26-year-old MEISEI, who is yet to convince he can survive at the top. But sumo as a whole really needs to reflect on why it must rely so heavily on rough diamonds like him. For it has 2 27-year-olds who could now be more than credible Sekiwake and Ozeki, boosting optimism and excitement. Sumo needs a properly thought-through disciplinary system to allow talent to keep performing at its proper level. It must ask itself why it doesn't have one. Let that not take away from your November enjoyment though, it will still be a good tournament.